The notion of carefully wrought bullshit involves, then, a certain inner strain. Thoughtful attention to detail requires discipline and objectivity. It entails, it entails accepting standards and limitations that forbid the indulgence of impulse or whim. It is this selflessness that, in connection with bullshit, strikes us as inopposite. But in fact, it is not out of the question at all. The realms of advertising and public relations, and the nowadays closely related realm of politics, are replete with instances of bullshit so unmitigating that they can serve among the most indisputable and classic paradigms of the concept. And in these realms, there are exquisitely sophisticated craftsmen who, with the help of advanced and demanding techniques of market research, public opinion, polling, psychological testing, and so forth, dedicate themselves tirelessly, dedicate themselves tirelessly to getting every word and image they produce exactly right. Yet, there is something more to be said about this. However studiously and conscientiously the bullshitter proceeds, it remains true that he's also trying to get away with something. There is something surely in his work, as in the work of a slovenly craftsman, some kind of laxity that resists or eludes the demands of a disinterested and austere discipline. The pertinent mode of laxity cannot be equated, evidently, with simple carelessness or inattention to detail. I shall attempt in due course to locate it more correctly. And he's about to say Wittgenstein, so I'm going to let you guys go there. But I was just reading a little bit of On Bullshit by Harry G. Frankfurt. This is the world's first official academic tribe or academic look on the subject of bullshit from Princeton University. Just thinking about certain kinds of bullshit this morning. Getting started here on the Bitcoin Talk Show. Today is Friday, December 7th, 2018. Pearl Harbor Day, a day that will live in infamy. Forget about the movie. All kinds of other things happen today. And then tomorrow, all kinds of other things happen. But this is Bitcoin Talk Show. The price of Bitcoin is down again, although it looks like it's up. It's an optical illusion. The price is down 5.63% to $3,306. Today's high was 3,695 with a low of 3,291. The reason it looks up is that it dipped down to what looks like $3,299 before popping back up to $3,330, which looks up from 3,300 straight. Checking out the price, $1 for 30,000 Satoshis. You can get a lot of Satoshis for your dollar. There was a point for a long time where you could only get 15,000 Satoshis. There was a point where you could only get 5,000 Satoshis. And now you can get 6 times as many. It's been a wild ride. Of course, we're checking out the Mad Bitcoins Patreon at patreon.com/madbitcoins. The link's in the description below. You could sign up now. 27 patrons support us with $2 a month. That's awesome. 25 patrons support us with $5 a month, getting the Hasselhoff thumbs up. 11 patrons support us at $10 a month, part of Team Airwolf. Everyone remembers Airwolf. And 4 patrons are carrying heavy dead sharks, maybe a metaphor, as they carry us to the $25 level. No one has yet joined at the more power $50 level. We used to have a hero donator. That was very cool. We need more. We need to do more to recognize his incredible work being a hero, donating $100 a month to Mad Bitcoins. And of course, you could buy the show, donating $5,000 a month, being Batman, the mysterious Batman. So you can sign up at patreon.com. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be reporting that we have 59 patrons and more than 372, but we'll see. And over at Tallycoin, we had a couple of new donations. We had a 12.6 donation for 0.00694827 and 0.00229915, and 0.002555536. You can join us at Tallycoin simply by donating to the Bitcoin QR code on your screen. That's right, it's got a Mad Bitcoins picture in it, but it still works as a QR code. Very amazing from Tallycoin. Maybe another day, not right now, it's not set up, but we should check out the Tally chat. He's got a new kind of chat where you can do the YouTube chat, but you can donate Bitcoin. So check that out at Tallycoin. Maybe we'll do that later in the show if we get some chat going. Checking out the price of Bitcoin and the top 3 stories from good old Google, we've got market mayhem, Bitcoin falls 10%, and something about Bitcoin Cash being listed by Gemini. Of course, Gemini means twins, and as everyone knows, there are at least 2 versions of Bitcoin Cash so far. Market mayhem. Bitcoin sinks below 3.4 thousand. Ethereum plummets to double digits. And everyone who claimed that one day Ethereum would go down to $100 is now claiming that they were right, because they were. Bitcoin falls 10% as bad news descends like cockroaches coming out of a hole. Ether tumbles below $100 as altcoins log double-digit losses. That reminds me, I need to sell my altcoins today. Time to give up. Altcoins, Bitcoin continuing to descend, at least for now. And crypto exchange Gemini to list Bitcoin Cash with NYDFS approval. Which one? Survey says the New York-based startup is supporting the fork of Bitcoin Cash based upon the Bitcoin ABC roadmap and not the alternative version, Satoshi's vision. Dun, dun, dun. Meanwhile, I've heard that Bitcoin Satoshi's vision is passing Bitcoin Cash in the only number people really care about. That's right, price. Although I've also heard it pass them in hash power, and they're having a hash power war to find out who the real Bitcoin Cash is. I'll bet it's Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin Talk Show. So as always, be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. I have a million windows open. We are ready to do everything today. We've got calls. I think I figured out why my copy and paste isn't working. My theory right now, bad batteries in my keyboard. But not so sure. Now it's doing it again on the mouse. So copy and paste, more of a hit and miss activity this morning. But we are warming up Bitcoin Talk Show, just getting it started today. Bitcoin falls 10%. Bitcoin mining firm sues ABC proponents for hijacking Bitcoin Cash. That's interesting. We've also got Bitcoin looks undervalued despite subdued activity levels. And we'll be rounding it out with a classic, is Bitcoin going to zero? We've got all the hits for you here on W97 RNXY. Mining firm sues Roger Ver, Bitmain, and more for hijacking Bitcoin Cash. Sounds fun. And the mining firm called United Investment Corp, never heard of them, is suing them, saying that, and they've included Kraken founder Jesse Powell, and some Bitcoin ABC developers, saying that they centralized Bitcoin Cash and manipulated the price during its contentious hard fork. It seems like there should be a lot more of these lawsuits. Seems like we've had a lot of people centralizing things and manipulating the price. But it's only now that we care. Things are getting bigger and bigger. Interesting, they justifiably relied on defendants' misrepresentations by investing millions of dollars in development and deployment of an infrastructure specifically for the mining of Bitcoin Cash. Maybe they can still mine Bitcoin with that money. Let's see. They impacted it. This is very strange. They allege that Jesse Powell and Kraken impacted the price by designating the Bitcoin ABC chain as Bitcoin Cash and granting it the BCH ticker. Did they think that this was going to be Bitcoin? This is just very strange. And then when reached for comment, Powell noted that he had not yet seen the complaint, but asked, why would we change the ticker for Bitcoin Cash? I'm not sure what they're saying either. Impacted the price. This isn't about the Satoshi's vision thing. That's what I'm seeing here. This is about the original Bitcoin ABC issue. Granting it the BCA, they wanted it to be BTC? Well, I don't know. Good luck with that if they want it to be BTC, but more lawsuits, more people suing people when they lose money. Welcome to crypto, right? Same thing every day. Bitcoin looks undervalued despite subdued activity levels and uncertain growth prospects. Undervalued. Nice. So we have Forbes going the other way. We've got one person from the Trefus team, a contributor, and they're from Great Speculations in the Markets. And we're seeing what's going on, and it's all about ups and downs. They're asking in the chat. They say, "I wonder if they're still going to report good news on the Bitcoin.com YouTube channel." I don't know. It's got to keep that going. What drives the price of Bitcoin? This seems more like a more general article. I was still just impressed to see Forbes going with undervalued because, of course, this is also December 7th, 2018. This is a nice, fresh article. And on the other side, is Bitcoin going to zero? Boom. And this is the Forbes community voice, connecting expert communities to the Forbes audience. Peter Malloch, community voice, and the Forbes Finance Council. Post written by Peter Malloch, president and chief investment officer at Creative Planning Incorporated. And I think it's important. It's good of Forbes to have this great community voice section where anyone can write anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or stocks or whatever they want. But you think they'd have a little bit more editorial control over it, avoiding sensationalist headlines that are surely going to get you added to the Bitcoin obituaries page. But at the same time, you got to figure maybe it's on the other foot. And the author didn't choose this title at all. It was the editors who just love clickbait headlines. So let's see what's going on in today's clickbait. In his opinion, Bitcoin's dead, or there'll be a dead cat bounce. Okay, so it's dead, or there'll be a dead cat bounce. Dead Man Walking. We're going to be in all the books. Manimal. It gave us Manimal and My Mother the Car. Bitcoin aficionados are attracted to the idea of a currency beyond government control, one that provides a store of value easily crossing borders in the globe and the comfort of anonymity it can provide. All right. So they don't like that, but so what? Cryptocurrencies aren't going away. There's very little reason to believe so. He's just against Bitcoin specifically. Of course, blockchain is fine. There we go. Maybe they won't need the 2,000 or so active currencies out there, and the market will devour itself. MySpace, Palm Pilot, Bitcoin. Your odds of success on a sportsbook or table game in Vegas are much higher. Oh, come on. I don't think about that. I mean, certainly we're in a tough time right now, and it's great to kick us while we're down. But to say the odds at a sports book or table game in Vegas are much higher seems really unlikely. He also suggests throwing darts at micro-cap stocks. Prepare to lose all your money. Keep doing what you're doing. So not an impressive piece from the Forbes community voice section, which still is part of your magazine. Flash crash. Bitcoin crumbles 11.35% as the speculative fingers point towards the SEC's Bitcoin ETF decision. And as predicted, the SEC pushed the decision off till the end of February. Everyone, or the middle of February, who knows? As everyone knew, they don't have to deliver a decision till February, so why would they deliver a decision until they're forced to deliver the decision? It's unlikely that this decision alone is driving the price of Bitcoin down. It's more likely just bad news piled on bad news piled on bad news, the bear market overtaking the technology, at least right now. And the proto SEC commissioner says, don't wait on Bitcoin ETF. It could take days or years. It would increase the liquidity of the Bitcoin market, but don't hold your breath. As she says, I do caution people not to live or die on whether crypto or Bitcoin ETF gets approved. You all know that I'm working on trying to convince my colleagues to have a bit more of an open mind. Puns when it comes to crypto. I'm not as charming as some other people. So send this lady to charm school, get her to approve the Bitcoin ETF. Let's do it. We can work as a team. Let's get this through. And of course, is Bitcoin going to zero? We already talked about this, but such a great title. You just want to focus on it. Checking out the Tallycoin fundraiser. Still 22 donations. What a team. 22. And we are 12.61% towards our goal of $2,000. There's something in Tallycoin. I figured out if you click on the Bitcoin address, it shows you this way. Oh, I like this way much better. Look at us. We have almost earned 0.07768 Bitcoin in exchange for doing this show. Let's keep that going. And checking out Twitter, we've got a cool link to Mad Bitcoin's Patreon where you can get a rare behind the scenes video just for joining. That's sweet. Doing some Bitcoin talk show. It's cold and raining in Las Vegas. How is it where you are? Is it cold and raining there? I'm watching more documentaries about companies. There's this new guy on YouTube I follow called Company Man, and he keeps telling me about Sears and Kmart and what they did wrong and why they went down and how they were selling things for 50 years or 80 years and all this time, and then pretty soon they weren't good at selling things anymore, and they're not going to sell anything. As Joseph Young said, the ETF delay until February was expected, and to be frank, it's common sense. Why would the SEC go out of its way to approve or reject an ETF filing prematurely? So no, the price didn't fall because of the ETF delay. BTC King, who continues to have the inside source at Bitmain, or is just making it all up, says that sources say Jihan is furious at SV as Bitmain is bleeding massive cash. With IPO and USA Roadshow going nowhere, Bitmain has started to significantly cut costs and is even selling down its bitch. Sources say at this rate it only has 2 months left before bankruptcy. Ooh. Which again would be good and bad for Bitcoin, right? We don't like Bitmain. Certainly, they're an evil miner in some ways, or allegedly evil, and maybe they're trying to take over Bitcoin, or maybe not. But at the same time, to see such a large and successful, at least formerly successful business, go out of business for Bitcoin would be a hurt to the whole market. It might be good in the long term, but it would be short term bad. It would also look like Bitcoin businesses are a bunch of clowns. And where would we get the miners? What about the mining? And I hope that other firms will continue to rise up. They say technologically, other firms might have already passed Bitmain, so we don't even really need them to be mining. But at the same time, giant company going down, going to cause a big splash. Honors Master says cryptocurrency is a social experiment just as much as it is an epic debate of economic theory. And it's part of the reasons why she loves it. You can check out Max's interview yesterday with George Vaccaro talking about the Lightning Network and what he was building. I checked part of it yesterday. It was pretty cool. He was building all kinds of little machines with his kids. And because of the way things are today, he could actually use the Lightning Network in those little machines, making things like a gumball machine that would spit out a gumball when you put in a little bit of Lightning and a little bit of Bitcoin. Pretty cool stuff. Check it out right here on the World Crypto Network. Be sure to subscribe below and give us a thumbs up and a share. Adam Back, hero of Blockstream, CEO and inventor of Cash, was seen driving a pizza truck the other day. La Bitcoinetta, delivering Bitcoin. In the bull market, he's a Blockstream CEO. In the bear market, he's a pizza delivery guy. So even Adam Back needs a second job in today's market. I got some time yesterday and I read the entire article of 4 days trapped at sea with cryptos, Nouveau Reach. And good stuff from Breaker Mag. Never heard of that before. But the article outlined the blockchain cruise, which from what we'd seen from the outside already looked like a little bit of an embarrassment. But to see it from the inside, it looked even worse. Of course, people I know were involved and so on and so forth. But just in general, she describes a bunch of strange crypto hippies, a bunch of strange crypto grifters and businessmen and people climbing their way to the top. Many young women imported or perhaps imported to the party to serve the men. Many other women who felt uncomfortable. A couple of men who felt uncomfortable for the women who felt uncomfortable, and just a lot of strange things going on at the blockchain cruise. Definitely check it out on breakermag.com. We've got the link here on Mad Bitcoin's Twitter. We're out of water and there's none in the glass, so we're going to check that out. Please pause for station identification. You are listening to the WIBI network. Armin van Bitcoin writes, just as the bear market wiped out all the buyers, the bull market will wipe out all the sellers. In the long run, the majority always loses. You won't be able to predict when and how it will happen, only that it will. So think long term and dollar cost average. We are hanging on Bitcoin Talk Show. Oh, we're out of Twitter to read. We're running down. Let's see, what's next? Reach. I said it was raining, and Kyle Thompson says, the price is down, but we're still up and alive. Go get after it today. He's got a great Baywatch gif that someone has edited up to feature Jorgen Hasselklopp in the starring role. The price of Bitcoin is 3,231. Seems like it's gone down a little since we've been talking, but apparently it's actually up again, because while we were talking, it went to 3,210. So this is actually up, meaning that at least on Bitstamp, which maybe has different numbers than the Bitcoin average that we were looking at before, on the specific exchange Bitstamp, we did touch 3,210. Recent high 3,286. Before that, all the way up to 3,422. Looking like a small possible formation forming, but we're looking at the 5-minute chart, so it's not really that significant. We're checking out the chat. What's going on? Max stopped by, called everyone's peers. Jeremy was triggered by being called a peer, but then he liked it when we called him a pear and that there were no apples to be found. Jeremy wants a pear computer. Fox Coyd is looking for a great time to buy, but he can't. He doesn't have any more money. Jeremy says maybe you should work 3 jobs. I'm still feeling a lot of should have sold yesterday, and it's getting even more creepy as we drop the 32. So I don't know. Might have to sell more, try to cover those expenses. Remember, you should cover your expenses first. Pay off your debts, cover your expenses. Make sure you have enough money for rent and food. That's pretty much what we're down to. Fox Coit says, it's all he has. He doesn't want to sell. He wants to go and hold long. He has big nerves. Jeremy says, strong. And we're wondering if you guys would like to Skype us now at World Crypto Network or call 518-600-1949. I delayed the start of this show to turn on the calls, and I hope that's going to work out. I hope that's going to be worthwhile. We're still reading the chat, checking it out. Madness Jax was saying earlier, I wonder if they're still going to report good news on the Bitcoin.com YouTube channel. I'm sure they will. I'm sure everything's fine for Bitcoin Cash. It's neat that Gemini's adding them to whatever there is, but in general, they've got big problems with that Bitcoin Satoshi's vision, and they are definitely not the real Bitcoin. It's interesting to see part of that lawsuit where perhaps, at least the way I'm reading it, they're suing Kraken for giving them the symbol of BCH instead of BTC. At least that's my initial reading. It might be different later. Let's see. Dan says Bitcoin's wrecked. He's getting out the coffins and the graves. Voltaire says Laura Shin is their lead tech writer, terrible journalist, and that Forbes is an ICO shill rag. Yeah, it's not that great anymore. It used to be a magazine. Now it's just another web page, I suppose. Dylan says Company Man is a good channel. Definitely check out Company Man on YouTube. He's got some great videos. He explains the company in about 10 minutes, usually. Stuff like Sears and Kmart and Walmart, things you never knew about, massive mergers. And this one bought that one, and this one owned that one. And it's fascinating. It's interesting stuff to think about it. Dan's checking in with the bad news. We've got Bitcoin for the year, 52 weeks, down 80%. Oh my goodness. Bitcoin Cash down 93%, Ethereum down 81%, Litecoin down 19%. So Litecoin was the hodler for the year. We should have been holding Litecoin. Oh well. But as usual, you guys can give us a call now. Today is Pearl Harbor Day here on the World Crypto Network. We're still at it. The price is still somewhere. And somewhere around here, I've got another graphic. Oh, the graphic's already up. Ah, see that? Look at that. Having a million screens completely paying off for me. I thought I had one of them still broadcast. Well, having a million screens all with the same stuff on them, that's what I need. So we're doing Bitcoin talk show here. I was going to try to get the map going. Where is it? It's in another. There it is. See, things are overlapped here, but I was going to try to get the map up. We've had a lot of people call Bitcoin talk show from all over the world, and I just want to take some time to just celebrate that and show you guys the map. Check that out. Here we go. Go to the map screen. And look at that. All over America, people have called in to Bitcoin talk show, taken their time, call us up. And it looks like one of these things is muted. Oh, that's the map. You can call in now at Skype World Crypto Network, all one word, or at 518 600. No. Oh, I didn't write it on that graphic. It's terrible. It's in the chat here somewhere. It's, yeah, I had 518 600 1949. We are checking in with the chat. We are keeping an eye on things here, and we've got the map open. Dan says the market is brutal. Jeremy says it's brutal, but the only way you can find the real value of something. I think that's a good point to bring up what Jeremy's saying there, that we don't know the real value of Bitcoin, and we're finding it out, right? We were doing that good old price discovery thing, and at least today, we are losing. We are losing in price discovery. Bitcoin is less valuable today than we thought it was. Gustavo in the chat says it's going to 1,000. That would be rough, huh? Are we going to see the full capitulation? The thing about it is, once we go to 1,300, and sure, Tone was bearish the whole time. It's going to go down, all that kind of thing. So once we go to 1,300, and he's right, if it goes to 700, if it goes to 300, is he still right? I don't know. It seems like if it goes all the way back down, it's just another one of those things. Now, they are saying on the long-term chart that we may have crossed over one of those big moving average lines again. Unfortunately, once again, in the wrong direction. There we go. Litecoin went down 79%, not 19%. So correction to the earlier note, it was 79% for Litecoin. So still down, but not 19%. So I was going to say, if we'd known that, boy, we should have been holding Litecoin the whole time. Could have named this show Mad Litecoins. There's still a chance. A Litecoin talk show, I'm sure, is probably available. But yeah, we've crossed over a few more of those long-term lines. We're looking at some bad stuff. We've got some John Lennon and some Pearl Harbor happening here. It does look like we hit another temporary bottom at 32.10 and a temporary spike to 32.68. But we're still smack dab in the middle of this at 32.42. Keeping an eye on the price of Bitcoin. Mainstream media pretty much left us for dead. Bitcoin, as we've seen, pretty much directly downward recently. The 6,500 level, where we used to just stay for so long and was so steady, and we were getting used to it, which I always knew. I don't know these things are coming, and certainly I don't make any magical and special moves to save myself from losing money. But it seemed like we were so steady at this 6,500 for so long, with this little peak up here, 75, little 62, little 68 action, another little 67. We were so steady there. Everyone was getting used to it. It seemed only natural that we were going to break off and break downward. I didn't do anything about it, but in the little voice in my back of my head was like, "Yeah, you should probably sell now for taxes." And I didn't. So we are riding this one out with everybody else, seeing what happens, seeing if this Bitcoin is a real thing and is going to go all the way, or if it was just another speculative bubble. And it does seem possible. Remember, Bitcoin, the technology, doesn't need a high price to succeed. The high price of Bitcoin is necessary to make everyone rich, right? If it does that, then it succeeds in all ways. But as far as me sending you Bitcoin, as long as the price is reasonably stable, which is not what we're seeing today or within the last week or two, as long as the price is reasonably stable, I can still send you $100 to do a task, and you can cash it out to local currency, receiving the $100 for that task. But so Bitcoin still works at any price point. That's part of the problem here is that up and down, the market's still good, the technology is still good. We haven't been hacked, we haven't been taken offline. The network is still running without any banks, without any corporations. It's quite a thing, but it's not enough of a thing to please this market. We've also seen the Dow Jones down recently, down as much as $800 in a single day. Real big stories going there, even in just the world of the mainstream finances. Looks like the graphics haven't been on the one I've been looking at, but we are taking your calls here on Bitcoin Talk Show. This is the Friday edition. So it might be a little bit lighter this morning. People probably have things to do on Friday. There's been, as usual, every morning dramatic news in politics, so on and so forth, with the Mueller probe and so on and so forth. Trump tweeting quite a lot of things. I don't want to really get into politics, but I am aware of what's going on. They say instead of watching Coin Market Cap, read the mailing list. Oh, Max wants you to get the straight dope on Bitcoin from the Bitcoiners themselves, from the developers. And yes, it's true. Anyone can subscribe to the Bitcoin developers mailing list. You can read what kind of technology developments are going on in Bitcoin, why it's becoming a better and a better cryptocurrency. Things like the Lightning Network we saw yesterday, it broke 450 Bitcoins. So now if you needed to send larger transactions, maybe you could do that. Plus, in general, there's just more and more Lightning, which is kind of like a script, kind of like a thing that you would use to send money around, but there's more of that available. It's like we've printed more paper and now we've got more. But really, we didn't print anything. It's all directly tied to Bitcoin. It hasn't been an increase in any way. Otherwise, we've got the call ins, we've got the chat, and we're out of news. So let's keep going on this Friday show, try to see what's going on in the chat, and not a whole lot. So we might head towards the end of this show, unless you guys want to call in. Rolando has a mailing list once. He was selling soccer score predictions. But I think we're going to head to the end of this show. Just a quick morning recap for you on this Friday morning. Maybe we'll be able to check in a little later. Jeremy says, "Aw, well, not every show is going to be building Legos for 10 hours straight or whatever I have to do these days." But I think we're heading out. It's an excellent Friday. No, I didn't get a chance to schedule the Bitcoin group for this week. I would like to try to schedule it for next week, get one more good show in, end of the year. Normally, this is the end of the year time anyway. People go on holidays, they take breaks. Maybe a good time to take a holiday from looking at what's it called? I deleted it already. Blockfolio. Yeah, good time to stop looking at Blockfolio, stop looking at Bitcoin price tracker, these kind of things. If you've made your decisions, you've made your plays, stick with them. If you want to change your mind, change your mind, do something different. Get your ducks in a row. We're going through a downtime, as everyone knows. We need a surprise Mad Bitcoin's guest appearance. Oh, but if I tell you about it, it's not a surprise. I wish I'd gotten more videos ready. I do have old videos in the archive where I know Santa Claus made an appearance once and Santa Mad Bitcoins and a bunch of fun stuff. So maybe we'll have more of that next week as we get into the Christmas spirit here at Mad Bitcoins. Also, I'd like to induct you guys while I have a minute here into the official Burning Man Christmas game. Many of you have probably heard of this already, but basically from this moment right now that I'm telling you about this, you are in the game. If you hear the song Little Drummer Boy, you lose. That's it. Good luck. It'll be on the radio, it'll be in stores. If you can make it all the way to December 25th without hearing the song Little Drummer Boy, you win. Most likely, you will lose. Remember, you have to self-report. So go ahead and tell me tomorrow if you heard the song Little Drummer Boy, and and we'll see if you win or lose. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on this quick, short Bitcoin talk show. Be sure to subscribe down below, give us a thumbs up and a share. And until next time, bye bye.